Namaste, Assalamu alaikum, Shalom, Mir, Ni hao, Buenos dias, Buenos tardes, Hesiche, Aquaba, Welcome. What up, though? This is Storytelling Therapy, session numero 10, the concluding session of these sessions. Today we have two stories. Dos stories. The first story is the narrative of creation, and the second story is where stories come from. So, the first story that we have, narrative of creation, many narratives of creation around the earth. This one is from Muskoki tradition as well. It is shared actually through the auspices of Betty Mae Jumper, but it is actually shared through or from Chief James Billy. And so, here it is. Narrative of creation. When the Creator, the grand Creator of all things, created the earth, there were many things the Creator wanted to put there. Birds, animals, reptiles, insects, many different living things. The Creator did have certain favorite animals. The Creator particularly liked panther, Kuachobi, crawls on four legs close to the ground. The panther would sit beside the Creator, and the Creator would pet the panther over and over across its long, soft, furry back. The Creator made sure that certain animals and plants possess unique healing powers. When the Creator touches certain things longer than normal, the Creator's powers automatically go into what the Creator touches. The Creator told the panther, "When it's complete, I would like for you to be the first to walk on the earth. You are majestic and beautiful. You have patience and strength. There's something special about you. You are the perfect one to walk the earth first." The Creator went to work making all sorts of animals and birds, animals on all fours, animals with hooves, animals with paws, birds with claws, insects, reptiles. Why, there was nothing the Creator left out. When the earth was ready, the Creator put all the animals in a large shell. The Creator set it along the backbone of the earth, the truly high mountains. When the timing is right, the Creator told the animals, "The shell will open and you will all crawl out. Someone or something will crack the shell, and you must all take your respective places on the face of the earth." The Creator then sealed up the shell and left, hoping the panther would be first to come out. Time went along and nothing happened. Alongside the shell stood a great tree. As time passed, the tree grew so large that its roots started encircling the shell. Eventually, a root cracked the shell. The panther was patient, which the Creator liked, but at this particular time, the panther was too patient. The wind started circling around the crack in the shell, round and round the inside, so vigorously that the crack was made larger. The wind, however, remembered that the Creator wished for the panther to be on earth first. "We will fulfill the Creator's wishes," said the wind, reaching down to help the panther take its place on earth. The wind was everywhere. The wind was the air we breathe. After wind helped the panther out first, the panther thanked wind for the honor. Next to crawl out was the bird. The bird had picked around the hole, and when the time was right, stepped outside the shell. Bird took flight immediately. After that, other animals emerged in different sequences: bear, deer, snake, frog, otter. There are many thousands of others, so many that no one besides the Creator could even begin to count them all. All went out to seek their proper places on earth. Meanwhile, as Bird was flying around looking for a place to live on earth, the Creator was watching. The Creator watched each animal and did not intervene, but left the animals on their own. The Creator often allows things to happen along their own sequences. Sometimes a thing must happen on its own merits. When the Creator saw that all was done, the Creator decided to name the animals and put them into clans. For being such a benevolent companion, the Creator rewarded the panther with special qualities. "Your clan will have the knowledge for making laws and for making medicine which heals," the Creator told Panther. "You, Panther, will be in possession of all knowledge of different things. The Panther will have the power to heal different ailments and to enhance mental powers." The Creator believed the actions of the wind were very honorable and noble, so the Creator told the wind, "You will serve all living things so they may breathe. Without the wind or air, all will die." "The bird, for being able to take flight, will be ruler of the earth," said the Creator. "The bird will make sure that all things are put in their proper places on earth." So this is how the beginning was made. Some call it the creation. Though there were many, many animals put on this earth by the Creator, all came to know their proper places on earth. Today, amongst the Seminoles, the Muskoki, and other native people, there are ceremonies on the occasion of the greening of the earth. At these ceremonies, you can see the panther, the brother wind, mixing the medicines for all people to utilize. If you enter the festival grounds and don't know your place, you seek out the head of the bird clan, usually a man ranked high within the clan, and ask where you may camp. He will ask you, "What is your clan?" If you say panther, he will give you a direction and instruct you to seek out the head of the panther clan, and he will tell you exactly where to sleep. Stories such as the creation and many other legends do have important meanings to us. Sometimes, however, interpreting them may confuse us. Seminole, Miccosukee, Creeks, Cherokees, Choctaws, Muskokees, and many other tribes tell tales of creation. These stories may vary from clan to clan, for strong reason. They all live in different locations on the earth, and that has much to do with the way the stories are told. And this concludes this session as well as these sessions. This is the story of where stories come from Zulu tradition, Southern Africa. This story is shared by Can Teach CA. The story, where stories come from. Once, a very long time ago, so long ago that it must have been close to the time when the first man and the first woman walked upon the earth, there lived a woman named Manzandaba and her husband Zenzele. They lived in a traditional home in a small traditional village. They had many children, and for the most part they were very happy. They would spend the day working, weaving baskets, tanning hides, hunting and tilling the earth near their home. On occasion they would go down to the great ocean and play under the soleil in the sand, laughing at the funny crabs they would see scuttling along there and rejoicing at the way in which the birds would dip and dive in the sea breezes. Zenzele had the heart of an artist and loved to carve. He would fashion beautiful birds out of old tree stumps. With his axe he could make the most wonderful impala and kudu bucks from stone. Their homestead was filled with decorative works by Zenzele the carver. But in the evenings, when the family would sit around the fire before going to sleep, they would not be so happy. It was too dark for weaving or carving, and yet too early to go to sleep. "Mama," the children would cry, "Sifuna inzindaba." "We want stories. Tell us some stories, Mama." Manzandaba would think and think, trying to find a story she could tell her children, but it was of no utilization. She and Zenzele had no stories to tell. They sought the counsel of their neighbors, but none of them knew any stories. They listened to the wind. Could the wind be trying to tell them a story? No, they heard nothing. There were no stories, no dreams, no magical tales. One day, Zenzele told his wife that she must go in search of stories. He promised to look after the home, to care for the children, to mend and wash and sweep and clean, if only she would bring back stories for the people. Manzandaba agreed. She kissed her husband and children bye-bye and set off in search of stories. The woman decided to ask every creature she passed if they had stories to share. The first animal she met was Nogwaja, the hare. He was such a trickster, but she thought she'd better ask him all the same. "Nogwaja, do you have any stories? My people are hungry for stories." "Stories?" shrieked Nogwaja. "Why, I have hundreds, thousands, no, millions of them." "Oh, please, Nogwaja," begged Manzandaba, give some to me that we might be happy." Nogwaja said, well, I have no time for stories now. Can't you see that I'm terribly busy? Stories in the daytime, indeed." And Nogwaja hopped quickly away. Silly Nogwaja. He was lying. He didn't have any stories. With a sigh, Manzandaba continued on her way. The next one she came upon was Moor Baboon with her babies. "Oh, Fene," she called. "I see you are a Moor also. My children are crying for stories. Do you have any stories that I could bring back to them?" "Stories?" laughed the baboon. "Do I look like I have time to tell stories? Ha woo! With so much work to do to keep my children fed and safe and warm, do you think I have time for stories? I'm glad that I don't have human children who cry for such silly things." Manzandaba continued on her way. She then saw an owl in a wild fig tree. "Oh, Kova," she called. "Please, will you help me? I am looking for stories. Do you have any stories you could give me to take back to my home?" Well, the owl was most perturbed at having been woken from her sleep. Who is making noise in my ears? She hooted. That is. What is this disruption? What do you want? Stories? You dare wake me for stories? How rude! And with that, the owl flew off to another tree and perched much higher, where she believed she would be left in peace. Soon she was sound asleep again, and Manzaba went sadly on her way. Next she came upon an elephant. "Oh, Kainudlovu," she asked, do you know where I might find some stories? My people are hungry for some tales, and we do not have any. Now the elephant was a kind animal. He saw the look in the woman's eye and felt immediately sorry for her. "Dear woman," he said, "I do not know of any stories, but I do know the eagle. He is the king of the birds and flies much higher than all the rest. Don't you think that he might know where you could find stories?" "Niga wabonga Nidalovu," she said. "Thank you very much." So Manzandaba began to search for Nakwazi, the great fish eagle. She found him near the mouth of the Tugela River. Excitedly she ran towards him. She called out to him as he was swooping down from the sky, talons outstretched to grab a fish from the river. "Nakwazi, Nakwazi," she called. She so startled the eagle that he dropped the fish that had been his. He circled around and landed on the shore near the woman. "Hawu," he barked at her. "What is so important that you caused me to lose my supper?" "O great and wise Nakwazi," began Manzandaba. Now, Fish Eagle was very vain. He liked hearing this woman refer to him as great and wise. He puffed out his feathers as she spoke. "Nakwazi, my people are hungry for stories. I have been searching a long time now for tales to bring back to them. Do you know where I might find such tales?" She gave him a look of desperation. "Well," he said, "even though I am quite wise, I do not know everything. I only know of the things that are here on the face of the earth. But there is one who knows even the secrets of the deep dark ocean. Perhaps he could help you. I will try and call him for you. Stay here and wait for me." So Manzandaba waited several days for her friend, the fish eagle, to return. Finally, he came back to her. "Suabono Nikosikozi," he called. "I have returned, and I am successful. My friend Ufudu Iwasalwandil, the big sea turtle, has agreed to take you to a place where you can find stories." And with that, the great sea turtle lifted himself out of the ocean. "Woza Nikosikozi," said the sea turtle in his deep voice. "Climb onto my back and hold onto my shell. I will carry you to the land of the spirit people." So the woman took hold of his shell, and down they went into the depths of the sea. The woman was quite amazed. She had never seen such beautiful things before in her life. Finally, they came to the bottom of the ocean where the spirit people dwell. The sea turtle took her straight to the thrones of the king and queen. They were so regal. Manzandaba was a bit afraid at first to look at them. She bowed down before them. "What do you wish of us, woman from the dry lands?" they asked. So Manzandaba told them of her desire to bring stories to her people. "Do you have stories that I could take them?" she asked rather shyly. "Yes," they said, "we have many stories. But what will you give us in exchange for those stories, Manzandaba?" "What do you desire?" Manzandaba asked. "What we truly like," they said, "is a picture of your home and your people. We can never go to the dry lands, but it would be so nice to see that place. Can you bring us a picture, Manzandaba?" "Oh yes," she answered, "I can do that. Thank you, thank you." So Manzandaba climbed back on the turtle's shell, and he took her back to the shore. She thanked him profusely and asked him to return with the next round moon to collect her and the picture. The woman told her family all of the things she had seen and experienced on her journey. When she finally got to the end of the tale, her husband cried out with delight, "I can do that! I can carve a beautiful picture in wood for the spirit people in exchange for their stories." And he set to work straight away. Manzandaba was so proud of her husband and the deftness of his fingers. She watched him as the picture he carved came to life. There were the members of their family, their home, and their village. Soon others in the community heard about Manzandaba's journey, and the promised stories, and came also to watch Zenzele's creation take shape. When the next round moon showed her face, Zenzele was ready. He carefully tied the picture to Manzandaba's back. She climbed on the turtle's back, and away they went to the spirit kingdom. When they saw the picture, the king and queen of the spirit people were so happy. They applauded Zenzele's talent and gave Manzandaba a special necklace made of the finest shells for her husband in thanks. And then they turned to Manzandaba herself. For you and your people, they said, we give the gift of stories. And they handed her the largest and most beautiful shell she had ever seen. Whenever you want a story, they said, just hold the shell to your ear and you will have your tale. Manzandaba thanked them for their extreme kindness and headed back to her own world. When she arrived at the shore, there to meet her was her own family and all the people of her village. They sat around a huge fire and called out, "Tell us a story, Manzandaba, tell us a story." So she sat down, put the shell to her ear, and began. Kwesuka Sukela. And that is how stories came to be. That wraps up this session. Session numero 10 of 10 of our storytelling therapy. Namaste, Assalamu alaikum, Shalom, Mir, Zaijin, Adios, Te Chekaris, Isimpe na Asamuje, Kielik Ofrim. One love and peace, happiness, liberation.